Casio A168 looks good. Casio ABL-100 looks a little bit better. But is it any good? It's not a physical exterior transformation here, but it's the interior that's going to turn some heads because it's already a good looking watch on the outside. Can it pack that punch on the inside? To start, you know I'm not a big fan of negative displays. With its limited visibility in some circumstances, we got to be fair though and give it some attention because the Casio has taken what looks like an iconic design in the A158, the A168, and now they've made this thing a little bit better, I think. Let's look at what makes the Casio ABL-100 tick. We're going to do a comparison and see why all of these new features should have someone running out and going to pick this baby up. Because guess what? You can barely find this thing anywhere. Here in Ontario, Canada, in person or online. Tough to find. With its same reliable retro design from the 90s, same style form factor, a little bit bigger maybe, we'll get to the specs, and the module, wow, takes things to another level. Might have to get the white gloves on, bird's eye view here, and have a good close look at the Casio ABL-100. It's like having a mini gadget on your wrist. If you're looking for a watch that's both stylish and super functional, then let's get into this one here. Diving into its features here, which make it stand out, and definitely right away you think of the technology and the practicality while showing some of the differences between the A168 that I have on my wrist right now currently. It's basically the same shell, just a little bit bigger. The specs comparison list is here for you. I'll post it down below. Something like the case width being 36 of the new one versus 35 of the old one. The diagonal is 40 millimeters versus the 38 millimeters. Still an 18 millimeter lug between the two of them. The lug to lug on this one is 41.63 millimeters versus the older 38.69 millimeters. The thickness though is a little bit thinner. It's 8 millimeters now with the ABL-100 versus the 9.66 thickness on the A168. And of course with that comes a little bit of a weight differential. So the new weight is 59.08 grams for the ABL-100 versus 48.18 grams for the Casio A168. Now first up, the display. We might as well get the bad out of the way right away. The elephant in the room. My A168 is a positive display. The ABL-100 that I was able to pick up is negative. Now it is available in positive, so definitely a consideration for those of you out there. Only because this one was out of stock and it couldn't be found anywhere. Believe it or not, this one came from Spain. Casio ABL-100 has the orange tone lighted digital display that is easy to read if there's light. So outside and daylight won't be too much of an issue, but indoors and low light, definitely you're gonna have to use the light button. And I have to admit, once you do use the illumination from the light button, it is really easy to read. But in a positive form, that display would be awesome and the visibility would be great. You're going to have to let me know how you feel about that negative display down below. You know how I feel. I only wear a negative display in my Garmin MIP, Memory and Pixel, and that's because that is top-notch negative display, and I can see that from any angle. And I even have it at 20%. Now the numbers are bold, and you have a new orange LED as opposed to the old school blue electroluminescent light. Also, a press will have the light on instead of having to hold the light for a duration. This will help when you're dealing with that negative display issues in low light. I do have to admit, for a watch at this price point, the negative display is pretty good when you can see it. Now the dial is broken up into three main sections. A section for the seconds animation status bar, which runs across the top. A center section for the full date, which is great, and we'll get to that update. And a lower main time display section in 12 or 24-hour format. Now let's talk about that date display. Casio ABL-100 shows not just the time, but also the full date in a new format. Not only 3-letter day, but also the year, month, and day as well. This means you'll never forget what day it is, whether you're in school, whether you're a working professional, you're out with your friends. It's just that simple. It can really help you stay organized, especially when you have a lot going on. Now, one of the most exciting new features is the step tracker, the accelerometer built into this small package, which is able to track your steps for you enthusiasts out there who want to be motivated and try to stay healthy. This will help you get on your feet and get moving. There's also a step alert and flashing text to get you off your butt and get you walking around, whether you're in the house taking a break, whether you're outside walking the dog, whether you're going out for some activity. It's pretty special. Now the accuracy test, I can show you. We did one, and I did a short on that one as well, comparing the Casio ABL-100 to my Garmin Fenix 7X Sapphire Solar, just to see how close it was, especially with a $100 watch accelerometer versus basically a multi-purpose smartwatch on your wrist. One thing I did notice is that when the track stepper is running, though, it is a little bit delayed, but it does catch up and keeps you pretty accurate. For a $100 watch, wow, I was pretty impressed. Now, a pretty cool update here features the ABL-100 and its updated stopwatch function. This is perfect for all of you who are into timing sports, events, activities, just to see how long it takes for you to finish any specific task. It's dynamite. 1/100th of a second timing with split timing, lap. Oh, it's special. Now, you have the ability to use lap times and split times to monitor multiple things at the same time, which is great, and a memory recall as well for some of the events that you've timed. Not something that's available in all these tool watches out there that are digital, and something that's a little bit outside of your basic egg timer, but cool nonetheless. Now, the original 8168 never had a countdown timer, but this one does. And you see where I'm going with this? The features just keep on coming. A 60-minute timer for you, and it has an alarm sound at the end when you reach your target time. It's like the egg timer on your wrist that you didn't have. Great for baking and other things that you need to monitor. But wait, there's more. The ABL-100 also has dual time features. This means you can track another time zone. Wow, 2 time zones at once. If you have friends or family living on the East Coast, West Coast, or wherever around the world, you'll be able to monitor their zone as well. Now, not to mention we have Bluetooth connectivity with the app. A lot of people may not be into this, especially at this price point. A $100 watch with the need to connect to a cell phone or whatever, or an app, is that really necessary? You got to comment below, let me know. But at least you might have good accuracy if you're able to set the times and use universal time calibration, for that as well. That might be very helpful. You'll know you're getting the best accurate time for your watch. That might make it a little bit more accurate, just a touch better accuracy than even a luxury automatic watch. For $80 to $100? Wow. Now the ABL-100 also has 4 alarms, right? Which is fantastic. You can set for different things, activities, whatever it is you need to set for. Of course, waking up in the morning is a special one. You can have one to wake you up. You can have another to remind you about a special activity that's going to happen. Even put one on for when your favorite TV show is going to start. This way you'll never miss an important moment, an appointment, whatever it might be, help or hinder. The Casio ABL-100 has Bluetooth connectivity, like I mentioned, so you're going to have to check into that on the Casio Watches app. I'll show you what that looks like, but I'm not going to actually create and log in for an account because I'm not going to own this one that long. It's water resistance, which means you can wear it while washing your hands, in the shower, playing in the rain, all the special things you could be doing with it. And you can take it hiking, you can go swimming, but I wouldn't be submerging and keeping it and going diving with it. That I wouldn't just push the limits that much, but you're probably looking at a 50-meter water resistance. Another great aspect of the watch is the battery life. The ABL-100 has an impressive battery that will probably last you anywhere from 3 to 6 years without needing a replacement. This means you can enjoy a lot of the features without having any hassle of changing the battery on the regular. In conclusion, the Casio ABL-100 digital watch is an incredible choice for anyone who's looking for that reliable, stylish, feature-packed timepiece with its cool display, with the new date, the stopwatch, the dual times, the alarms, the Bluetooth. You're getting a lot in here for that value. It does so much more than just tell time. The big issues I have with the watch are the small buttons and the operation. It's just tough when you have large hands or big fingers like I have when you're trying to navigate around the watch. Comment below, let me know what you think about that. And as well as if you own it, let me know. I'd like to know your experience with it. Obviously, the negative display is not my cup of tea, but it still works if you can handle it. Lastly, it's not even sold everywhere, so that's a problem. These Casios need to be made available to everyone. Like I mentioned, I had this one shipped in from Europe, specifically Spain, from our friends over the pond, and I may have paid a little bit extra. I think it was $23 in duties. So be mindful of that. It's perfect for anyone. Men, women, kids, doesn't matter. Students, athletes, you know what? Your kid may not miss their curfew if you put this watch on their wrist. It's got a lot in it. You may not use it all, but you know it's there. At the end of the day, it's just going to tell you the time, and that's what you need. I give it a solid 7 out of 10. I highly recommend it to anyone who's looking for a watch that's both practical and fun. And because it's a positive display option out there, that's the one I would go get. Cost analysis is interesting, and it will come down to whether or not it's got the updated feature set that's important to you. because it's no longer $35 like the A168 was. It's gone up in price. I was all in at $105 out the door, plus the $23 in duties. So basically $125. Whether you're at school hanging out with friends, whether you're an adventurer, whether you're a professional, whether you're a first responder, the CASIO ABL-100 will be a great, simple, yet functional companion on your wrist. Thanks for coming to the channel. Appreciate the time. Which ABL-100 would you prefer? Negative display, positive display, or none at all? Comment below and let me know. See you on the next one. Buy the positive one. That's my bird's eye view.